When I started to work at the hedge fund, it was completely overwhelming. At that time, it was a very decadent world. Hedge funds were not regulated. There was a lot of drugs, there were women, there was alcohol, there were trophy wives, there was all of this lavish lifestyle. And now I've got traders that I deal with every day. They managed even more money, so therefore they made the firm more money, which meant they could behave even more badly. Nobody's gonna question if they spent $100,000 that month on girls. And I thought it was fascinating that the sex industry commanded so much money from these men, and it was just considered normal. I had reached the glass ceiling, making $160,000 a year. I wanted to be a trader. Those guys were making $2 million a year, and that's what I wanted to do, but I was always told no. One day in my office, I was reading the New York Post, and the article said there are millions of dollars floating through escort agencies. More money than I could ever make in my lifetime being in the back office of a finance company. I've seen finance guys using escorts for years, and I thought, maybe if I could find girls, this would be a viable solution. So I decided to test the waters by placing an ad on Craigslist, and I did so from my job because I worked 14 hours a day. The ad said, "Beautiful girls wanted," and it listed out the features which I thought would be appealing for the men in this industry. College educated, pretty, in good shape, beautiful, to provide companionship for men. When I clicked post, I had a lot of anxiety. I thought, do you really actually want to do this? And then I thought, well, let's just see. It won't hurt to just see. The next day, I walked into the office. The HR person was standing at the front, and they said, "We are firing you, effective immediately, for using the business hardware for personal use." And I said, "But all of your traders are using escorts. You're gonna fire me for placing an ad?" And they were like, "We're putting this picture of you at the front. If you ever try to come back, we will have you escorted from the property." I was in complete and total shock and had no idea what I was going to do next. That was the moment I decided, I'm gonna sell sex. So I spent a few days researching other agencies, how things were done, what their girls looked like, where they were located, what they were charging. If I'm going to put a price on my freedom, I want it to be the most amount of money. And my price was always at that time in my head, $2 million. If I could make this work, I'd be free.